setting the video up. I think I need some lighting. That might be enough. That might be too much. Hello to the person who's watching. I'm just gonna let other people know, and then I'll start the video. I just need to find a URL for the video. Just going to start the screen capture. And I need to open up the live chat. Whilst I'm here, I need to ask Nightbot to join. I can never find a chat. There we go. Pop out chats. Okay, the Nightbot's chair, so that's fine. Okay. Okay, there's 3 people on there. Say hello, whoever you are. And I'll begin. Just got my YouTube gloves on. So what we can see here on the right hand side is that I'm using an 11.5 kilowatt hours. Estimated bill is £830 a month, which is a lot. Or £27 a day in electric cost. Hello Nicholas Frank. Say where you're from. There's 4 people now watching. And what we see on the left hand side is the B3 hash board with 4 heat sinks, which means there's 4 ASIC chips in here, and it probably be difficult to see inside there. I'll put the light on higher. Ramon, what am I repairing? Well, I'm repairing the hash board because what I did was I was trying to make some custom cables to quieten the fan. I don't think I've got the device with me at the moment. I'm just going to look for it. I was going to add a fan controller, which I've misplaced, to make the fans quieter, but I'll be able to resolve that without modifying this. I don't know if it's a BM1680, it's whatever Bitmain say they are, but they are massive chips. The normal one's a lot smaller, probably a fifth of the size or something like that. There's only 2 6-pin connectors rather than 3 on the hash board, and you get 3 hash boards in each B3. No, I haven't installed the new firmware because this box is what I need. So yes, I will be installing the new firmware, which should fix the fan speed. The problem was that, well, I'll come up to what the problem is later. Right, so can these scales fit here? I was going to install the fan controller. Just let me make that one side. I was going to install a fan controller, but I accidentally shorted out 12 volts on one of the other fan cables, which is probably the PWM, which is around 5 volts. So the hash board wasn't happy about that. So this box weighs, you can't see that, 430 grams. Very light. The light's flickering there, I'm touching the cable. Today I'm going to use a screwdriver to open the box. So we can see there's 2 compartments here, but only 1 device. Bit of a waste of packaging, but that's probably the smallest one that Bitmain has. And inside we have a Antminer T9 Plus control board. There's an extra sticker on this one which there wasn't before. So the issue was that the software was measuring fans 1 and 2 or something like that, but the fans are labelled 3, 4, 5 and 6. There are no headers for fans 1 and 2. So that's why the fan was running at full speed. Bitmain should have really realised this before they shipped them out, but they didn't. I just need to grab the Antminer case. Okay, so this is the empty case. So the first thing that needs to go in is the control board. You can't put the hash boards in and then later on put the control boards in because it won't fit. That will pull out to there and the rest needs to come out. So that will just slide in. There are two rails. It goes on the bottom one. You just pull out these tabs slightly. Don't know if you can see that, probably not. Quite tricky to do at this weird angle. Okay, that's in, and then it just slides in. And hopefully it didn't click, but that's in now. There are some foam pads there. They don't really line up onto these raised bits, but it should be enough to keep it up in the air. Now I don't remember where these fan headers go, but I think that one goes there. And I kind of vaguely remember the order that I took the hash boards out. It doesn't really matter that much. These just slide in where these grooves are. And there's some more grooves here. Hello to the 6th person who's just watching. Okay, that one doesn't want to go in. I'm not going to force this in. That's quite stiff to put back in. But I do remember these being a bit stiff to take out. And finally the third one. Okay, so all three are in. So basically what I did was, whilst it was all powered up, I was measuring these two pins and then I accidentally slipped and touched that one. So I shorted out these two pins here. Hello to the 7th person watching. Okay, so the hash boards are in. Next I'm going to put the rear cover back on, but I need to find the screws. Okay, I found the screws. Normally you do opposite corners when you tighten anything up. The screw looks a bit different because it's got the warranty sticker still on it. stick that one in later. Yeah, I know the B3 difficulty is increasing a bit, but I've missed out because I damaged this hashboard. And Bitcoin has dropped a lot. Okay, I've been away, so I've not been keeping an eye on anything. The value of the Bitcoin has dropped, but you still have the Bitcoins. So I'm going to put this into number 4. I do have my notes from before, and it looks like we're using 5 and 6, so I'll change that to 5 and 6. Before I do that, I do realise that some of the pins are slightly bent there, but it doesn't matter if they all still fit. Right, so my first problem is how I'm going to power this up. Now I have this monster power supply. I'm just going to weigh it. And that weighs nearly 4 kilos, which is a lot for a power supply. So this power supply is a Delta Electronics power supply, which is from an IBM blade server, and it can have up to 3 kilowatts or 2.98 kilowatts, which is a lot. It's also Platinum 80 Plus rated, and this was kindly donated by a guy called Jay who lives in Crewe. So he got me this for free. The first thing I need to do is figure out how I'm going to wire this up. There used to be breakout boards available by a one-man band, but I think he stopped doing it. So I need to find the pinouts for this before I can start using it. Even the mains power is not a standard one that I can find or use. And the reason why I got this from him is because it's all bent and he's not going to be able to sell this to anyone. So the idea is for me to see if I can power this up. He has about another 4, so then he can start using these as well. So thanks for that, Jay. On the rear we have some LEDs, so you got AC OK, DC OK. That looks like a fan warning and maybe power warning. There's 3 fans on there, so this is going to be quite loud. There's also a handle there because this is quite heavy, but I'm not going to have time to look at this power supply at the moment, so that's going to be saved for another day. Does opening up the Antminer void the warranty? Yes and no. I've gone through this process before. Basically, you just need to send an email asking for permission. I didn't do that this time. It's just to stop people who don't know what they're doing tinkering around, like messing around with fan controllers and breaking things like I did. So the first thing that you want to do is ask for permission to open it up after you've done some basic troubleshooting. And the basic troubleshooting is like disconnecting the ribbon cables and connecting them into different slots. So when you put these ribbon cables back in, it clicks. And usually the ribbon cables are labelled 1, 2, 3, and the hashboard is 1, 2, 3. You can move them around to troubleshoot where the fault is, to see if the fault is with the cable, the hashboard, the controller. You do one change at a time and see if it follows. But you've got to disconnect the power first and then make the change and then reapply the power. So where's everyone from? It's about 1:15 in the morning in the UK. I'm not sure why, Steve, you're awake. You must be a night owl. So to power this up, I have another parcel. And this weighs just over 2 kilos, 2.1 kilos. And I flip the box over, it says 2.1 kilos. The clicking noise that you can hear, or clinking noise, it depends. There's two different noises. There's a hashboard rattling, which I can't demonstrate on this because it's got the foam pads on there, but that could rattle. But if something sounds like it's sliding, it'll be a heatsink that's fallen off, so you do really need to contact Bitmain before you turn that on. But you're not going to hear anything because I've got another miner in this room mining away, and that is the X3 mining electronium until the end of the month, and then I've got to find something else. So back to this box. I'll use a different screwdriver. And I'll just open this off camera because there might be an invoice with my address on it, as it's come from Amazon. Okay, there's no invoice in this one. So it's got the usual Amazon paper padding. And inside, kind of obvious, it's a power supply. So this one is a used power supply, I think. There's a slight mark across there. 12 volts, 150 amps, which is 1800 watts. I'll just double check that. That's correct. The cables are screwed in, similar to the Bitmain ones. There's a big gap there which you can stick your fingers in if you like electricity. On this side there's a fan, IEC socket and a power switch. On this side there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 connections, PCIe connections, 6-pin ones, which is plenty for what I need. I'm going to use this extension lead again. You shouldn't really use extension leads for mining, but then I think this is a lower power one. So these cables are grouped as 2 lots of 4s and then 2 singles, which is kind of similar to all miners. You want to make sure that all these are clipped in properly. So that's 6 there, the rest are not going to be used. and the one for the control board is usually the opposite direction. So the hash board are that way and the control board's that way. So I think all that's in. For the power cable, I'm going to use one which has a 13 amp fuse. The plug is rated at 13 amps. Let's see what the cable is rated at. The cable is 3 lots of 1mm squared, which is on the low side. You really want 1.5mm squared if you're running 13 amps, but this isn't 13 amps. And then the IEC side, this is a bit funny, it's got a cutout here. And this one should be rated at 10 amps, which it is if I go closer. So that says 10 amps there, and the plug says 13 amps if I can focus in that corner there. Now before I power this up, I only have one network cable going into this room, and it's plugged into the X3. So what I have is a very old Netgear switch, or router, or router as it's called in America. I have no idea why this pronounced word's wrong. Yes, I said wrong. If we look at this diagram, it says 12 volt 1 amp. And today I'm going to power it up using a Linksys power supply, which is rated at 12 volt 1 amp. You can have a higher rating power supply. The device will take what it needs, the excess won't be used. And this is center positive, so I'll just check the router. It should be all the same, and that is also center positive if I get closer. So hopefully this will work without any configuration, because if you're looking at the IP addresses, it says 192.168.0.1. My network is .1. .whatever. Okay, the lights are doing its thing. Just plug the network cable in. Oh, start didn't go in all the way. I think I might have pulled these out a bit too tight. Oh, it wasn't clipped in, but it's better now. So this is an ADSL modem or router, and that's the ADSL port. You can get cable modem one which gives you another Ethernet port, but that's usually to connect to another network. So what I'm going to do is connect the two ASICs on these black cables, and then take the feed from the network, the existing network, and plug it into here. Hopefully everything will be happy. I'm just going to do an IP scan. Let's plug that in first. Okay, so this power supply sounds like a hairdryer. I'll go closer so you can hear it. But the B3 was a lot louder. Hopefully the new firmware will fix that. just going to start the IP scan again. Yeah, that noise is the power supply. The B3 hasn't kicked in yet, it's starting to ramp up a little bit. If I show you the power consumption. I think if I put the light down a bit, no. I think it's reflecting off this, so it's not going to show up. Now that's the B3 booting up properly. Log into the network and try and get its IP address. Okay, so I've got one called Antminer at 1.106. Default username is roots at roots. I'm just going to set the configuration up. Because I don't want Bitmain to earn more. No, I haven't uploaded the firmware yet because I've just powered it up, so I'm going to download the firmware now from the email link that Bitmain sent me. Firmware fixes the fan speed display problem. And there's also an update that improves the hash rate. Do not power off during update. So it looks like we need to upload both firmware files. Downloading both. They should have really put both files in one. I'm not sure why they've done two separate ones. So first you download the Antminer B3 firmware and then you upload the updates 1000 file. You've got to be careful not to power off during the 1000 update. Should take 5 minutes to update. If it takes more than 10 minutes, try again. And for some reason my internet's been a bit slow. So I'm just going to let that do its thing. Yours pulls 395 to 400 watts after the firmware update. Is that because you're on 110 volts? In the UK we're 240 volts. It's supposed to be 230 but it never is. Yeah, with 120 volts you're going to pull more amps in there, but the wattage should still be the same. Yeah, I'm going to check to see if that's downloaded. Network error. I've just found a good way to quieten it down a little bit. That should help a bit. I'm still having problems downloading the file. Hash rate is between 680 and 715. So we go to system, then upgrade. Before I do that, I just want to check. So that's May the 16th. That's the kernel version. And a file system version is the 11th of April. Still recording. Yeah, it says chat has been disconnected, so I need to fix the internet. Okay, so that looks like it's rebooting. If it stays at that level, that's good, but it probably won't do. It's getting louder. Oh, that's different. That's a lot quieter. I'm just waiting for the hash rate to go up a bit. So that's only doing the first firmware file. That's hashing at 778. I'm back. Okay. So that first file has made it quieter, but it doesn't show you the fan speed. So now I'm going to update the second file. That's changed the file system to the 19th of May. The kernel version is still the 16th of May. Now to do the update file, which is a bit small, so I'm just going to download that one again just to be sure. Yep, 84k, so that file looks okay. went hard for a long time, but it did say to wait 5 minutes. Sure, that was a bit longer than before. Better. That hasn't fixed the hash rate. So let's try plugging these into different ports. Okay, so that hash rate is 1 kilo hash at the moment. That is better than what it was before. That's like a 30% increase. That is really strange. It's dropped now to 988, but it's still around a kilo hash. So that's not really helped. But what we can do is just disconnect the rear fan, and by doing that it's a lot quieter. But I'll keep it in for now. So the wattage is around 360 watts with both fans running. Okay, I think I'll end the video here. There's nothing more to add. I think I need to get some sleep. So I'll see you till next time.